What we do at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Flagstaff is we connect youth in the community with positive adult role models.
I think our kids are like kids throughout the country. Many of them are in vulnerable positions because of their family life. Many of them are in these vulnerable positions because their socioeconomic status. And Big Brothers is that opportunity to make a change or make a difference in many of these kids' lives by providing a mentor to help them through difficult times.
My son is going through some things that would qualify him as special needs. And that's really hard for a mom who tries to do everything by herself. Ever since Jacob was really little, probably about 4 years old, he hasn't had a consistent male role model in his life. He doesn't have a big brother around. He doesn't have any uncles around. His dad was moving from place to place for work. A single mom can be everything, but she can't be a male role model. Probably when Jacob was like 5 or 6, he fell in love with police officers. I would take him to those little events that they do around town where you get the stickers or you get to climb in the police car. And he's just been fascinated. He's been fascinated by men in a uniform that stand for something, people that protect people, his whole life. So when he found out he was matched up with Mike, who worked for the sheriff, he was pretty impressed with that. He wanted to ride in his car. He wanted to hang out at the jail even.
So I am Jacob and I am Mike's little brother. Mike is fun, loving, and sincere. We play football, we go get ice cream, and we go do some fun stuff, and we just have fun every time.
The one thing that was unexpected out of this program was the connections that the different things my son got to do that I never thought he was gonna get to do.
Early on in our relationship, I was told that Jacob wanted to be a police officer. I mean, that was one of his 9-year-old career goals. And because of that, and because of my relationship and current position with the sheriff's office, I was able to work out for he and I to do a ride-along in the sheriff's boat up at Lake Powell.
We were on the water and I didn't know where we were going. He said it was a surprise all the way down to Powell. And I was just really like, tell me, what is it? And I kept hearing his phone go off saying like, turn right at this and get on Powell Road. And I'm like, oh.
So we went up, we met with a deputy and the boat and went out in the boat and, don't let the sheriff know, but Jacob actually got to drive the boat on Lake Powell. And we actually did a couple of traffic stops on the boat in the water, and Jacob was like his backup. So he got to taste it, see it, touch it, the reality of police work, and in fact became a big fan of those that were on the lake that day, because as we would, we'd see another boat speeding through a no wake zone, we would start that way, and then other boats that we had contacted earlier, you could hear them chanting, "Oh, go Jacob, go, you got it." Because we would pull someone else over after we did that. They'd cheer, but I liked the part where we'd go really fast over the waves, and that was really fun. His smile was ear to ear, and I just remember thinking, this has got to be the coolest thing ever. Just to see him and be part of that was mind-blowing. You go into law enforcement. The goal is to help people, to care for people, to take care of people. And then as your career progresses, you start to get a little callous towards some of those things. You tend to see the same people over and over and over again, and it's the same issue, and it's the same issue. With Jacob, I think what it helped me do was come back to that first love. Why was I a deputy to begin with? Well, it was to help people. It was to serve the community. He helped me come back to those balances where you saw things through his eyes and not always through the callousness of doing the job for so long. Those are some of the things that he continues to teach me, just because he's such a selfless young man and so loving and giving.
Mike symbolizes stability. He symbolizes consistency. He's that male role model, and he just sees the good in my kid. He always knows it's gonna turn out okay. He's raised kids of his own. He has his life in order, so he doesn't bring any of that into Jacob's life. Like, he's just always the same person no matter what. And that's just something that's really good for a mom who just sometimes, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through. Honestly, there are days that it's just one foot in front of the other until I figure it out. And I think he has pretty much saved us.
I have 2 officers in my department who are bigs, and I can see the change in them. I can see when they come in from meeting their little and mentoring that there's a change in them. They tell me it makes them appreciate much more what they have, but it allows them to see another side of things, not from just a law enforcement perspective, but more from a humanitarian and community perspective.
100% of youth involved in community-based mentoring and school-based mentoring avoided the juvenile justice system. When you think about how much money goes into incarcerating a person, it's over $30,000 a year. When you think about how much money it costs to mentor a kid, that's $1,500 a year. When we invest that time, when we invest that money in the front end, we keep children out of jails, we keep people out of that system. Whether you donate your time or your money to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Flagstaff, it's an investment in a child's future.